to all our learners. Welcome to CEC lecture. Dear learners, the topic of analysis is environmental movements and international relations. In this lecture, we shall look at the global realms wherein environmental movements are there and also having a bearing on issues of global governance. The lecture shall explain how environmental movements in the contemporary scenario of international relations as a social or political movement are not only essential for the bigger aspect of conservation of environment, but environmental movements have led to wide-ranging debates, scholarship on environmental politics, global environmental issues, and aspects concerning relations between science and policy, sustainable development, amongst others. In the lecture, we shall look at what are the dynamics of a social movement, what are the peculiarities of the environmental movement, and how ecological crises have a bearing on global issues and international governance. To begin with, let us understand what do we mean by social movement. Dear learners, social movements consist of a number of people organized and coordinated to achieve some task or collection of goals. Often the participants are interested in bringing about social change. To take important input from the sociologist David Arborell's work, that is, namely there are 4 types of social movements, that is, alternative, redemptive, reformative and revolutionary social movements. Environmental activism, it is being said that it is changing its focus, goals and practice. Now, this environmental activism at the global realms has its own dynamics which one must factor in. The environmental issues in international relations, like for any domestic apparatus also, it depicts the harmful impact and effect of human activity on the biophysical environment. Environmental problems like when we hear about global warming, acid rain, air pollution, waste disposal, ozone layer depletion, water pollution are important not only for domestic realms, but they have a bearing in issues, policies and theories and perspectives in international relations. Environmental movement, if we are to define it, it could a social or political movement for the conservation of environment or for the improvement of the state of the environment. And most important, environmental movements today across countries and nation states are working for an important aim, that is sustainable management of natural resources. Dear learners, we take this definition presented by the research and the work of Guha and Gadgil that environmental movements, they are organized social activity consciously directed towards promoting sustainable use of natural resources, halting environmental degradation or bringing about environmental restoration. So, at all these realms, sustainable use of natural resources, halting environmental degradation or bringing environmental restorations, even in the realm of global governance, one finds there are plethora of environmental movements that tell us that today ecology has an important bearing with respect to international relations. Christopher Root's works, that is, environmental movements from local to the global. Dear learners, as we quote from this work, that is, of all the new social movements, once again one must bifurcate here. The old social movements, they were focused mainly on the traditional perspectives of the class divide. The new social movement, they focus on new issues, and environmental movement is definitely one of the most important movement that has an enduring influence. To take reference and from the example presented by Christopher Roots, that is how Green Party members, they are important when we look at many Western European states. They have wide-ranging institutionalization, as Christopher Roots opines, both in terms of professionalization of their activities and regularization of their aspects to policy makers. The important book that one must refer to, that is Christopher Roots' Environmental Movements, Local, National and Global, Psychology Press, 1999. The book gives us a very important aspect to ponder upon, that is, despite growing evidence that how environmental problems are universal, and also to add to that issues of economic and cultural globalization, the narrative, the idea that is development of a truly global environmental movement is at best tentative. The issues which confront organizations, as when one looks at the research presented by the book, they are no less apparent at the global than at the national level. The book presents research on environmental movements in Western and Southern Europe, the United States and the global arena. What is important while we are understanding global environmental movements? Important aspects that must factor in any analysis of understanding of global environmental movements are social base. One must ponder on that. What are the values underlying the movement? One must reflect on the aspects that is involved in mobilization strategy, resources supporting their mobilization, political opportunities channelizing their mobilization, amongst others. We find that the rise of modern environmentalism gets a big fillip with an important work, that is Rachel Carson's, that is the work that pointed out towards dangers of DTT. This was published in 1962, Silent Spring. Then warnings of the Club of Rome in 1972 about limits to growth. All of it, pointed out that how environment is an important aspect, and there were attempts, coalitions to work towards a collective goal, that is preserve environment, and international relations also witnessed this solidarity. To add to that, there were certain undesirable happenings also that led to ecological issues in human history. When one reflects on nuclear disaster at Chernobyl, Russia, 1986, the Alaskan oil spill, the Gulf War in the early 1990s, one reflects on that how environment, even within the bigger realm of wars, bigger picture of infrastructural development, ecological crisis needed attention. To add to that, today how green issues, green politics, that points at how the impact of human activities on the environment has resulted in new social, political, ecological movement. To add to it here, one must look at a contrasting narrative. We take a leaf from the American history, that is how Gifford Pinchot, with the focus on wide use or conservation of resources, he was the first chief of the United States Forest Service, for whom conservation represented the wide and efficient use of resources. The contrasting perspective to it, dear learners, is by John Muir, that is, he was prominently known as early preservationist. He is known for his appreciation of wilderness itself. He defended in the battle surrounding dam building in the Hetchy Valley in the early years of the 20th century. What is important to acknowledge here, taking a leaf from important work, that is Stephen Stoll's The Rise of United States US Environmentalism, that is, one must acknowledge that both contrasting traditions, they characterize the conservation movement and continue to have an impact on environmentalism even today. Dear learners, so what we see here is that the framework of environmental activism, right from the inputs provided by Aldo Leopold, relationship between pointing out at how relationship between people and land, it is intervened, or to the work of Wangari Maathai Maathai, the Kenyan social, environmental and political activist and the first African woman to win the Nobel Prize. Environmental ideas and activism have indeed come a long way. What we find here is that with time, when we try to situate environmental activism, environmental social movements in global realms, one must also factor in the fact that the world's first Green Party, that was the Values Party, a nationally based party in New Zealand and United Tasmania Group, it was organized in the Australian state of Tasmania, which was found early 1970s. While we are looking at green politics from the Values Party to green politics and green parties having an influence in Western European democracies, one must also factor in the challenges the green politics and green parties face, namely electoral strategy, democratic, transparent, accountable aspects in working of political parties, amongst others. Dear learners, one must point out that today, because of environmental activism and its related environmental social movements, there has been rise of non-state actors which have a bearing on global governance agenda. Now, this is important for us to factor in because international relations has been defined by the realist agenda with respect to statism, self-help and survival. There are critiques that point out that can the realist agenda with focus on the statist narrative afford to ignore how climate change, loss of biodiversity is a global security threat. Then to add to that, how liberalism and its refined version of neoliberalism in the work of Keohane and Nye, pointing out that the plural tenor of IR, that is how states exist with non-state actors, the focus away from the relative gains and aspect to the movement towards absolute gains. Herein one must also point out how environment also adds more to this multiple channels and hierarchies present in global governance. There has been rise of non-state actors having a bearing on policy making of nation states. Friends of Earth, which is an international network of environmental, social justice active organizations, Worldwide Fund for Nature, international organization committed to conservation of the environment, Greenpeace, which is a well-known environmental organization. One must refer to this work by Frank Zyko, that is, Make It a Greenpeace, The Rise of Counter-Cultural Environmentalism. This is from Oxford University Press. To add to that, as we are trying to understand the global environment social movements, one must look at this very important work by Liam Leonard and Sia B. Kisdior, Occupy the Earth, Global Environmental Movements. This book points out that there are global concerns about rising environmental risk, issues of climate change and the multifold threats to the planet. The book which has research writings on the work of Greenpeace in Brazil, or say environmental activism in Ireland, in animal rights and anti-hunt activism in Malta, global degrowth movement. This shows us that how across the nations from Brazil to Ireland to Malta, there is global grassroots campaigns, strategies, and above all it points out towards the importance of global grassroots environmental mobilization. An important work, that is Climate Action in a Globalizing World, comparative perspectives on environmental movements in the global north. Now this book, it points out that how there is urgency of global climate change, and there is a matter of scientific consensus that climate change is a huge challenge. But this work, makes a very clarion declaration that global politics of climate change is not consensual. So while we are understanding the global realms of environmental social movements, one must factor in this fact also that no doubt there is rise of green politics, there are issues with respect to green parties. However, though there is urgency of global climate change as a non-traditional security dimension having a bearing on global governance, but as we'll go by the research presented by this book, one gets the sense that global politics of climate change is not having consensus. The book, it gives insights into environmental movements when we look at global north like United States, Japan, Sweden, amongst others. Global climate movement, when we try to track it from the Copenhagen summit of 2009 to the Paris summit of 2015, one gets the sense that, there are altering strategies, there are tactics while attracting new actors to this issue area. Development of global environmental networks has increased the contact between environmental movements in the global north and those from the global south, as the book points out, and this has led to establishment of climate justice as a political cause and unifying frame for global climate activism. Dear learners, Earth Charter, as we take our learnings forward, you must refer to earthcharter.org. It is an international declaration of fundamental values and principles, a global movement of individuals and organizations from 89 countries around the world that have embraced the vision of the Earth Charter and use it in various ways to guide the transition towards a more just, sustainable and peaceful world. We take reference to this work by Laura Westra, Miriam Vela, that is Earth Charter, Ecological Integrity and Social Movement. The book shows that how Earth Charter project, which began no doubt as a United Nations initiative, but it was carried forward and completed by global civil society initiative. What one gets the sense, that something that started as a UN initiative proceeds as a global civil society initiative, and as the research from the book highlights, the link between ecological integrity, social justice, and also in defense arguments and issues that is for the indigenous people. Now, in this aspect, dear learners, one gets the sense that how important environment has become as an agenda for global realities, and how over the time environmental issues, environmental grassroots movement, they are not just related to institutional concerns but have a bearing with global civil society, grassroots mobilization amongst others. An important book, that is when we are looking at issues in global environment with respect to global governance and the bigger picture as to how environmental social movements are there, one takes reference to this book, Social Theory and the Global Environment by Ted Bennon and Michael Radcliffe. That is, it presents critical perspectives, taking inputs from the realm of sociology that challenge the technocratic managerialism which dominates the environmental policy, its discourse and its impact. The work explores the relationship between social theory and sustainability in an attempt to transcend the technical rhetoric and embrace a broader understanding of nature. Now, what we look at here is, taking reference from this very important journal article that is looking at environmental movements in advanced industrial democracies, heterogeneity, transformation and institutionalism. This is from Annual Review of Environment and Resources by Marco Giuni and Maria Grasso. That is how this work points out that three main features of environmental movements that one must ponder over. That is, when we're looking at the advanced industrial democracies, that is, environmental movements today are heterogeneous. Then they are profoundly transforming themselves, and lastly, they have become more institutionalized. Now, all these three aspects have a bearing for global governance and realities of international relations also. So, dear learners, it is very important that when we are looking at the bigger picture, the narrative of global environmental movement, we must understand that social movements, they are a collective effort aiming for change. Social movements are of various kinds from old to new. Environment, as Christopher Roots also pointed out, it is one of the most enduring movement having an influence with respect to the ambit of new social movements. Now, this becomes all the more essential for us to understand in the realm of global politics, because what we find here is that today dynamics of global politics are much more contested, and these changing dynamics have a bearing on understandings and revisions that go in to various established perspectives in IR. For example, the realists give primacy to states and interests. There have been critiques that point out that can we ignore climate change as an important global security threat? Related to it, that how the neoliberal agenda that saw norms, regimes, institutions making an important bearing on global governance agenda. There are concerns that have been pointed out that today how non-state actors ranging from institutions like UNEP to Earth Charter or celebration of Earth Day, all of it, norms, regimes and institutions concerning environment have a bearing on the international agenda. Then to add to that how time and again there has been a clarion call that how capitalism is leading to a divide within the globe. Related to it are concerns that how this capitalism has led to exploitation of nature. And to add to that how today ecofeminism also looks at this similarity, that is looking at the cause of exploitation of women and environment in a similar manner. So, what one finds here is that today environment is being invoked for having a better understanding of the dynamics, the changing realities of global world. Globalization has led to interdependence, integration, interdependence. At the same time, there has been rise of environmental globalization, that how there are well coordinated practices and regulations both at formal and at informal level concerning environmental protection. So, with environment coming up as an important agenda that cuts across the traditional security threats as well as that cuts across the traditional realms of political science and international relations. When we look at the realm of climate change, biodiversity, animal rights, vegan movement, all of it, they point towards wide-ranging environmental issues in international relations. Ecological crises have a bearing on global relations. This is why it is essential to be seen that how today there are movements coming up, environmental activism, talking about the harmful effect of human activity on the environment and nature. Sustainable management of natural resources is an important aspect that environmental movements are taking up at various aspects. So, what finds here is that there are collective efforts with an aspect of solidarity that points towards the need to conserve and preserve nature. There may be divergent perspectives within grassroots environmental mobilization, yet there is a remarkable degree of similarity towards a common cause as a unifying frame, that is the issue of climate justice, the issue of preserving the environment. Earlier international relations, to conclude, which was IR was concerned with war, peace and security. But today the dimensions of war, peace and security have also changed. Security implies need to have ecological security. Peace implies being at peace with nature. Avoidance of war implies that there should be no natural hazards. So environment which led to significant revisions in the perspectives of IR, and one must ponder over that, how it emerged as a significant policy priority matter. The contemporary times ecology is important for governance, institutions, agencies, knowledge and norms, and global environmental movements indeed have a bearing on various multifaceted and multidimensional aspects of global governance. Dear learners, we hope the lecture gave you significant inputs and insights. We look forward to positive, encouraging feedback from you all. Thank you very much.